and time management.
What level of questions? Time management. Yeah, good. Partially correct. So the thing is that why we are here. Suppose if I ask you a question like why we are using mobile phones, so definitely you will be giving answer like, ma'am, we are to view gallery or to chat with friends, to chill out with friends by talking in calls. Or if I ask why you are going out, ma'am, to buy groceries or to go with a friend's home and have a party over there, we are going out. So for every work we are doing, there is a purpose. So in the same way, so if you are here in this particular training, obviously there is a purpose. Without any purpose, you won't be here. So now the intention and the main need of you guys, why you are here is that to learn how the pattern of the placement drives will be, how the difficulty level of questions will be, what are the logics that how we need to go for doing of the coding programs, or to learn some of the applicable topics and all these things. So you guys are here in this training part. Now, my next question. How many of you guys really wanna get placed in a reputed MNC companies like TCS, Cognizant, Wipro, Infosys, Emphasis? So like this, yeah, Amazon. So how many of you are really wanna get placed? Can you raise your hands? Nikhil, Navya, Pranav, Naveen Kumar, Pavan Kalyan, Neeraj, Lakshmi, Nitish. Good. So many of you are interested to get placed in a reputed companies. So Naman Sharma, okay, fine. So many of you are interested. So you might be from different streams. Some students might be from their core branches and some might be from the non-core branches. So some of the perspective of the students might be like, so as we are not from the technical background, so we may not be eligible for getting placed in a core companies. But it is not the case. Whatever the branch you are from, whatever the stream you are from, whether you might be from CSE or IT, civil, mechanical, MTech, or MCA, MBA, whatever the stream it might be. So if you are able to clear, if you are eligible, then you are automatically recruited. The thing is that you need to practice well before attending the drive. So that is why I am asking you to start the preparation from the day one. Suppose if you have started your preparation at before night of the placement drive, so somehow you got the questions like what are the questions that are going to ask in drive, and you somehow mug up the 10 programs. Somehow you mug up, somehow you memorized those, and you got placed in those companies. Fine. So you got placed in reputed company. So for saying, it is very pride to say that I am placed. So after getting placed, you got your offer letter and you went there for training session. So after going there, after stepping into the company, how long will you sustain with your mugged knowledge of coding? How long will you sustain with your computer knowledge. So you can sustain for 1 month, or you can sustain for 2 months or 3 months in the training period. So once your training period is completed, and once after the training period, if you are allocated a project work and you are the one, you need to do the coding part, what is the situation? Can you complete the task given by the project manager, the project lead? Can you complete?
No, ma'am.
No, obviously no. So as you are not able to complete, they will fire you out from the company. So instead of getting fired from the company, so if you have the knowledge, conceptual knowledge, so obviously somehow you will be able to do coding. And if there are any minor mistakes, they will help you and they will guide you. So the scenario is that, so you should have the basic knowledge. So basic knowledge, conceptual knowledge is not a difficult task to learn these things. So why? Because I know that each and every students from VIT are good and superb at doing the aptitude. So the logics that what we are doing in aptitude, the same logics we are going to apply in the programming. So the same we are going to do in now. So I will show that and I will prove that coding is not at all difficult task. Will you agree? So for how many of you will feel like ma'am doing coding part from being apart from the non-CSE stream, so we are feeling difficult to code. So there will be many students. But for them I'm saying that, so doing coding, even though you are from non-code branches, is a piece of code for you if you are good at aptitude, if you are good at getting the logic that they are asking in the question. So shall we go into the programming part and shall we start?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. So is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, thank you. So we are going to learn the coding part here. The first question comes here, the geometric series. So geometric series means you might have here the term like geometric progressions. So under the aptitude topic called progressions. So where we'll be having the 3 different types of progressions called arithmetic progression, geometric progression and harmonic progression. So now the first program is regarding the geometric series, and here they have given us the series and they are asking us to find the nth term of the series. So before finding the nth term of the series, yeah, fine, they asked the nth term, fine. Now the first thing we need to find after seeing this is that, so what is the logic? First we need to find the logic. So next we'll go with the next part of the question. So this series is a mixture of 2 series. So they clearly mentioned it is a mixture of 2 series. Okay, fine. So all the odd terms in the series form a geometric series, and all the even terms, even positions form another geometric series. So there are 2 series. So 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128 and so on. So this will be the first series, and the next series 1, 3, 9, 27, 81, 243, 729, 2187. Can you guess what could be the logic of these two series?
2 to the power n, and another is also 3 to the power n.
Yeah, 2 power 0 and 3 power 0. Good, super. So 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 square, 2 cube, 2 power 4. So this is the logic for first series, and for second series the logic is 3 power 0, 3 power 1, 3 square, 3 cube and so on. So 2 power 0, 1, 2 power 1, 2, 2 square 4, 2 cube 8, 2 power 4 16, 2 power 5 32, 2 power 6 64. In the same way for second series 3 power 0 1, 3 power 1 3, 3 square 9, 3 cube 27, 3 power 4 81. So you got the logic. So now our question is how to find. We need to write a program to find the nth term in the series. So try the logic. After that I will explain you the code. So I am giving you 1 minute of time and let me know if you are done. So or else also no issues, I will explain it. So first try the logic. Try to get the logic. Did you got the logic? Simple one. It's a very simple one. Okay, let me explain the coding. So what they have asked us to find the nth term of the series. What series? Geometric series. So first let me go with writing of the series here for our understanding. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 9, 8, 27 and so on. Okay, this is a given series. Now let me write a code for this one. So we already discussed it is a combination of two series. The first series is raised to the 2 power and the second is raised to the 3 power. So first whenever we are writing, we'll start with our header files, input output stream. input output stream for the getting of the input output. So as I'm using the power function here, so I need to go with including of the math header file here, where I will be having all those functions under this header file. Next, the declarative region. Declarative region. Main function. So they are asking us to find the nth term. So I have taken the variable as n, which is of integer data type. So I need to read the value from the user in. So I'm using cin. Cin means reading the value from the user in. So first and foremost condition that I am checking is that whether the number that I have taken is divisible or not. So if it leaves remainder 1, if it leaves remainder 1 after doing the modular division on the given the taken integer, so it enters into the loop. That will check with one condition where my so for a 2 series, the starting value is 1, initial value is 1, and R value or equals to 2. Now in terms, I need to find the terms, number of terms. So n plus 1 by 2. Next, res. So res is nothing but the result value. So how I can find the result value means a into power of, here I can go with giving r int r value, or directly you can go with variable. So you can go with giving of variable or the number directly. So I'm giving the number directly, 2 comma terms minus 1. After this, I'm going to print the result value here. So this is for the first case. So in case if case is false, so instead of going into the inside the if case, so it comes to the else case, where again I'm having the initial value as a 1 and int r value will become 3 because raising to the power of 3. Int terms equals to, so here my terms formula will become n by 2. Int result equals to the same as a previous case. So power, so here 3 power, right? So 3 power terms minus 1. So after getting the result value, I need to print the result value. See out result. So this is a program. So whatever the logic that I have written, n plus 1 by 2, n by 2. So this is all the things that I have done from the progressions, geometric progressions. So geometric progressions means we all know that AR square, AR cube. So this is how it will be. So that is what I have taken AR. So at first R power 0, R power 1, R square, R cube. Now let me try to execute the program by taking the random values. So it compiled without any errors. So let me go with 7. I got the answer as 8. Means so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So at 7th position, I'm having the value as 8. At 7th position, I'm having the value as 8. So let me explain with 2 more examples like how this actually works. So let me go with taking my n value as 5. 5 modulo 2. So you all know guys what is modulo division. So for modulo division it always takes the remainder value. So remainder value is 1. Yes, the condition is true. As the condition is true, it enters into the if loop. So a equals to 1, r equals to 2, terms equals to n plus 1 by 2. 5 plus 1 by 2. 6 by 2, it is 3. Next result value equals to a into a is 1 power of 2 comma terms minus 1 3 minus 1. 2 comma 2 means 2 power 2 4. So which means that at fifth position I'm having the value 4. Fifth position I'm having the value 4. Let me take one more example. N equals to 6. So 6 modulo 2 equals to 1. No, the condition is false. So as the condition is false, it goes to the else part. So in else part, I am having a value as 1 or 3 terms equals to n by 2. So terms equals to n value is 6, 6 by 2, 3. Next result equals to a into a1 power of 3 comma terms minus 1, 3 minus 1. 3 comma 2 means 3 raised to the power of 2. 3 square 9. Which means that at sixth position I'm having the value 9. So this is how we write a program understanding the logic. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So I'm giving you the 5 minutes of time. You can make a note. Those who are making a note, or else if you are executing the program, you can execute it. So 5 minutes of time for you. Is it completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, good. So moving on to the next program. Odd or even series. Consider the below series. So again they have given a series and they are asking us to find the nth term from the series. Nth term from the series. This is a series which is a mixture of two series. So again it is a mixture of two series. All the odd terms in this series form even numbers in increasing order, and every even term is derived from the previous term using the formula x by 2. So 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. So this is a first series, and here is a second series which is obtained by the division of the previous term. 0 by 2, 0. 2 by 2, 1. 4 by 2, 2. 6 by 2, 3. 8 by 2, 4. 10 by 2, 5. 12 by 2, 6. 14 by 2, 7. So every term, the second series is obtained by the division of the previous term, n by 2. So actually it is in the form of arithmetic progression. So please try to analyze the code, try to find the logic that how we have to write. So the this particular program odd or even series is just like a similar to the previous one, that is geometric series. It is just like the previous one, but the way we are writing the logic will differs. So like the previous case only, we'll start with if case, else cases. So think once how to write the program. Later we'll discuss of writing the program. First you think of the logic how to write the program. Have you got the logic? How many of you got the logic for this? Can anyone say the logic? How to write the program? Ma'am, if you ask us to shout, we'll shout, ma'am. If you ask us the logic, we can't, ma'am. So using namespace std, so int main int n a, the first term d, t1, first series, T2 next series, nth term. So sin of n. So if the condition, checking of the condition, n modulo 2 equals to 1. So if it is the case, it enters into the loop where a value starting term is 0, b value is 2. So after that goes for printing of the getting of the T1. So T1 means n plus 1 by 2. Next, nth term equals to a plus n minus 1. So n minus 1 is nothing but T1 minus 1 into D. So a plus n minus 1 into D is a aptly formula, nt. So do the same for the next one. Do the same, apply the just like this, do the next one also.
One can show the question once.
Yes,
One can show the question once.
I'm not getting, my dear, your voice.
Can you show the question, ma'am? Question.
Oh, show the question. Okay, here is the question. So let me continue with this. So if this is the false case, so it moves to the else part. So just like the above condition, we'll write a equals to 0, d equals to 1, because here the common difference is 1. Next, for the second series, we'll go with the T2 equals to n by 2, and nth term equals to a plus n minus 1 into d, and C out nth term. So this is what we'll do. Return 0. So no errors. I'm giving 5. Let me enter 4. So actually the series is the series is 0 0 2 1 4 2 6 3 8. So now I have given 5 0 1 2 sorry 1 2 3 4 5. So at fifth position I'm having 4. I got the 4 exactly. So this is how we need to analyze the program. So is it clear? So let let me go with a simple example. So let me go with n equals to 4. So 4 mod 2 equals to 1. No, the condition is false. So it moves to else part. So in else part, I am having the value. So a equals to 0, d equals to 1, t2 equals to n by 2. So t2 equals to n by 2, 4 by 2, it is 2. Next, nt equals to a 0, 0 plus n minus 1. N, what is n value here? So sorry, here n is nothing but the t2, right? Just a minute. Okay, t2 minus, what is the t2 value here? 2. So 2 minus 1 into d value is 1. So 2 minus 1 into 1, it is 1. So at fourth position, I am having the value 1. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
If you want, you can go with one more example with n equals to 5. So which applies the same like this. So n equals to 5. If I go with 5, so if condition is true, 5 mod 2 equals to 1. The condition is true. So it goes in. So where t1 equals to n plus 1 by 2. 5 plus 1 by 2. 6 by 2. It is 3. And nt equals to, next term equals to a value is 0 plus t1 value is 3, 3 minus 1, and the d value, the common difference is 2. 2 into 2, 4. So at the fifth term, I am having the value as 4. So make a note and try to execute the program. Try to execute. I am giving enough time for you to execute the program. Hope you guys are doing. I want everyone to do it. Even the guys who are making a note of it, if you want the explanation part, you can make a note of it, because there are some students who might go with the explanation part also. So for those students, I'm not wiping the explanation part. So 2 more minutes for you.
Done, ma'am.
Yes, my dear.
Yeah, done, ma'am.
Completed?
Yes, ma'am.
Good. So moving on to the next one. Sum of previous terms. So sum of previous terms is all in another way. It is also called as Fibonacci series. Have you ever heard what is meant by Fibonacci series? So Fibonacci series, the Fibonacci terms. So have you heard the term called Fibonacci? So actually Fibonacci is nothing but the sum of the previous terms. So if you take here, so first two terms will be, we will initialize the values for this, because so we are saying sum. So if you want to perform sum, obviously we need two operands to perform operation. If there is single operand, we cannot perform any of the operation. So to perform operation, we need two operands, and the first term and second term I am taking it as values. So directly I will initialize the values. So 1 plus 2, 3. 2 plus 3, 5. 3 plus 5, 8. 5 plus 8, 13. 8 plus 13, 21. 13 plus 21, 34. 21 plus 34, 55. 34 plus 55 gives me 89. So the series goes on. Suppose if I take 1, 2, 3, 5 as an example. So let 5 be the n value. Suppose if I want to get the value of 5, which means that I need to add the previous terms n minus 1 and n minus 2. So if I add these two only, then I will be able to get the nth term. So this is what they are saying. And they have also given the condition like, so the n value should not exceed 30. So n value should not exceed 30. So if it exceeds 30, if suppose if my n is greater than 30, I should write a condition like it is invalid. So the first thing to code the program is that first we'll go with taking of the n value, and after that we'll write a condition for n greater than 30. So after that we'll take the first term, second term value, and we'll go with writing a logic for the sum of the previous term. So try to write your logic. Try to write your logic for this. Have you done?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, let me go with explanation of the coding part. So int main, entering into the loop, int n. So at first t1 equals to 1, t2 equals to 2, and the next one is next term. At first, my next term, I'm initializing the value to 0 and I'm taking the I variables. So, and after that, so reading the value of n from the integer. And next, in question, they clearly mention the condition as n should not be greater than 20. In case if it is greater than 20, we need to print it as invalid. Invalid. So next, coming out, so else case. So in else case, so I need to write a condition like, so if either my n value is 1, either my n value is 1 or n value is 2. So in both the cases, I need to print the value of n as it is. Why? Because these are the first two values. After the again else case. So here else case is meant for the getting of the next terms. So where my I value here starts from 0 and I am writing the condition as I less than or equals to n and incrementation part of the I. So if this condition is true, it enters into the for loop where I will be having adding of the two terms. So T1 and T2. Some of the previous terms. So next T1 equals to T2 and T2 equals to next term. After that next term, so we need to print the next term. See out next term. This is the program. I got output as 8. So the Fibonacci series. So actually the series is 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13, 21, 34, 55, 89 and so on. So as per the answer, if I take my value as 5, means at 5th position, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So at 5th position, I'm having the value as 8. So I have found the nth term of the Fibonacci series. Nth term, sum of the previous terms. So how it works actually? T1, T2, next term. T1 plus T2 equals to next term. So T1 value is 1, T2 value is 2. So 1 plus 2, 3. So this is done. After that, T1 equals to T2, which means that the value of T2 will be assigned to T1. So T2 value will be assigned to T1, 2, and T2 equals to NT, which means that the value of NT. So next term value will become T2, 3. So after that, again adding 2 plus 3, 5. So it repeats. 3 plus 5, 8. So if you observe keenly here, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. We are getting the series of the Fibonacci series. 1, 2, 3, 5, 8. So this is how we trace the program. Tracing of the program. Hope you got it. If you have any queries, you can ask regarding this program. So is the explanation part clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Do it. Do it fast. Once you are done with the program, so say like, ma'am, it's completed.
Completed, ma'am.
Completed. Wow.
Completed, ma'am.
Okay, ma. Next one. Character count in a given string. Character count. So generally, we character count means they will be checking. Like suppose if let me take my name itself. So we'll think like, so it is like, so P for one time, EA for two, V1, N1, I1. So it is not the case. So actually we can also do this type of program, but here the question the question that they have asked is regarding the count, the number of same consecutive characters. So if here the example is A. So I need to get the output as A3. So character followed by the count that is present in that string. So here is one of your sample example. And they also clearly mention it as the maximum length of the string is 20. If it exceeds 20, so like the previous case, we need to write it as invalid. So how will you go with writing of the code for character count? So you need to take length of the string. So first you need to find the length of the string and you need to write the condition. So try to write it. So have you done with the coding part or else I need to explain? So I'm waiting for you guys to say the logic. Have you done it or not? Okay, let me go with explanation part. Let me do the coding. Ash include stdio.h. As we are writing programs on strings, I'm going with string header file. After that, using namespace std int main function. So the first one is I'm taking a variable as a string. So after that I'm reading the string. Next, so at first my count is 1. Count value is 1 I, and next length equals to a dot length. So a dot length represents the input length. So here comes of the first condition, length should not be greater than 20. So if it is greater than 20, we'll go with the printing it as invalid. Else, if it is not the case, goes for the else case. So here comes the main part. So for I equals to 1, I value starts from 1. So checking the length, L equals to length. And next, the incrementation part. How we checks. So in arrays, we know that it will check the values based on the indexing. The same one I'm going to do. So if both are same, if both the characters are same, I'm going to increment the value of the count. In case it is a false, in case it is false, so it goes into the loop where I'm going to print a of I minus 1. So the last character value with the count. And then the count is to be printed. So after the character count is printed, if there are any other characters present other than the variable that we have checked, again the count value has to start from 1. So I am giving the count value as 1. So after that, so that's all the program. Let me try to execute the program. So no errors. Let me give A, B, B, C, D, E, E. I got the count. So you can see I got the count. So now let me explain how we got the count. So let my string be A, B. So where my indexing value starts from 0, 1, 2, 3 and 4. A of I equals to A of I minus 1. A of I equals to A of I minus 1. So I value initially starts from 1. So A of 1 equals to A of I minus 1. A of 1 minus 1, it is 0. So at first position I'm having the character A, and 0th position, 0th index I'm having the character A. A equals to A true, as it is true. So initially my count value is 1. So as it is true, my count value will be incremented to 2. And next, while it is coming to perform next operation, I value will be incremented. So I is also incremented 2. So now A of 2 equals to array of 2 minus 1, 1. So at second position I'm having the value A, and in the first position A. Again the condition is true. So again the count value will be incremented from 2 to 3. coming to the iteration, I value will be incremented. I becomes 3. Now 3 equals to 1. 3 equals to 2. So third position I'm having character A, and the second position I'm having the character A. Again the condition is true. So as the condition is true over here, so my count value will be incremented to 4. Now enters the loop. Again I value is incremented. I equals to 4. Now a of I means 4 equals to a of I minus 1, 3. At fourth position I'm having the character 4, and at third position I'm having the character A. Here the condition is false. So as the condition is a false, it comes to the else case and see out a I minus 1. So for a I minus 1, I am having the character a and the count value. So the count value is a 4. It prints count value as 4. So after printing the count value as 4, now again I am having the count value as 1. So it goes for checking of the next conditions. So only B, and after that I am having the null character. So it comes out of the loop. So pins B1. So this is how we'll print the character count of a string consecutive. So we are getting the character count of the consecutive characters. Is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, do it.
I'm done.
So yeah, you are done, fine. So let others also do. Let others do. So others, please do it fast.
Yes, ma'am.
Finished. Okay, fine. So the next one is swap the character. Swapping of the characters. So we need to get 3 strings as an input. So 3 strings as the input. Change the vowels of the first string to dollar. So in first string, if you find any vowel, so we need to replace those vowels with dollar symbol. In the similar way, second string, we need to replace all the consonants with hash. And in the third string, we need to convert the lower case, the entire third string from lowercase to uppercase. And not only conversion, we need to concatenate. So let me go with example. So I'm taking face, academy, VIT. So first string I have to replace with dollar symbols. What I have to replace with dollar? Vowels. So A, E are vowels. So F, dollar, C, dollar. So in second string, consonants should be replaced with hash. C, D, M, Y should be replaced with hash. So A, hash, A, hash, E, hash, hash. And next, third string, we need to convert the entire string to the uppercase. So entire string to uppercase. So if you take the strings like this as the input, you are going to get the output like this. So try to do it. Try to do the program. It's a simple one. It's a simple one. Writing the condition for vowels, not for consonants, and for converting the lower case to the uppercase. Only 3. Pretty easy one. Pretty easy thing. Is it completed? Shall I show the code?
Yes, ma'am.
So first I'm going with the main function. So I'm using the string array here to get the values. So it is for reading of the strings, getting of the strings. So string should not be null. If the string is null, I cannot perform any operation of the string. Next is oval. If whenever I call this is oval, so it directly goes to is oval here. Two parameters, character and n value. So writing the conditions for ovals. Ovals means A, E, I, O, U. So there might be lowercase and there might be the uppercase. So for both the cases, I'm using writing the conditions using OR operator. Here n equals to 1 represents the first string, n equals to 2 represents the second string, and n equals to 3 represents the third string. So as I need to replace vowels with dollar hash. So writing the condition for A, E, I, O, U for capital letters and small letters. So coming to consonants, so there will be 21 consonants in lowercase and uppercase, totally 42. So it is not possible for me to write 42 conditions. So because of that I am saying, so if any character is there, if it is if that character is not a vowel, then obviously it becomes consonant. So I am making the character condition as not a vowel, then consonant, and I am replacing with hash. And the coming to the third condition, alphabets from A to Z, and we know that we are having the ASCII values. ASCII values. So ASCII values means, so the smaller case value starts from 97 and uppercase starts from 65. So if you observe keenly here, the difference is 32. So 65 plus 32. So if I want, so if there is uppercase letters and if I want to get the lower case, so I will be adding the value to get the lower case. But if the lower case is given and if I need to find the uppercase, then I will go with subtracting the value. That is what I am doing here. So C represents the lowercase letter, lowercase character, and 32 represents the value that I need to subtract to get the uppercase. So this is the program, dear. Write it. Make a note of it.
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, can you explain else if part again?
Else part again. Which else part, my dear?
Else if the last one, C greater than equals to A.
Okay, fine. I will explain. So our last string is to convert the lower case to uppercase. So we know ASCII values. So ASCII values. So ASCII value of lowercase letter starts from A. So A and B is 98, C is 99, and it goes on till Z. So in the same way for capital A, so it starts from 65. Capital B, it is 66. Capital C, 67, and it goes on. So the difference between 97 and 65 is 32. in case, so if I want to find up lowercase like character, so then I can go with adding of the uppercase value and the difference value. If I add uppercase ASCII value and the difference value, then I will be getting the starting character ASCII value. Suppose if there is a lowercase, and if I want to get the uppercase, then I need to go with subtracting the value to get the uppercase ASCII value. So as our third condition is to get lowercase to uppercase. So lowercase to uppercase means I need to subtract. So here C indicates the character value. Character lowercase. Now is it clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, do it. So make a note of this. Shall I move to the next slide? I mean the continuation part of the same question. So if it is done, I will move with the next program. Shall I go with the next one?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. So next, remove duplicates and reverse. Remove duplicates and reverse. So here in this case, write a program that will replace multiple consecutive occurrences. Suppose if I take Pavani, so there are duplicates here, but here the duplicates will not be removed. Just I will get the output as the reverse string itself. Why? Because in this case, I am going to write a code for only multiple consecutive occurrences. So just like if I go with the taking of the example happy. So here I am having the multiple occurrences, consecutive occurrences. So I am writing a code for only consecutive occurrences. So the duplicate value will be removed and I will be getting the output as YPAH. So based on the question that they are asking, we need to change the format of our coding. And they are also saying that the string length should not exceed 30 characters. String length should not exceed 30 characters. So if you see here, this is a code. So this is a code. First, so let me go with taking my string as hello. HELLO, hello. So string means indexing starts from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. String should not be null. So first the condition. A string I is not equals to string of I plus, which is nothing but, so 0th index is not equals to I plus 1. So at 0th position I am having H and I plus 1 I am having E. Yes, it is true. Both are not same. So it is true. So my count value will be incremented. So at first count is 0 and now the count value has been incremented. So now in temporary variable, so after increment temporary variable, I will be having this value. str of I value will be stored. Next, incrementation. Next one. So next equals to I plus 1. I plus 1. What is I plus 1? 2. So at first position I'm having E and second position I'm having L. So both are not equal. Yes. So E will be stored in temporary variable. So again the count increments goes. So 2 not equals to 3. So second index I'm having L not equals to, and third index I'm having L. Both are equal, both characters are equal, but they are saying it is not equal. Condition is false. So as the condition is false, so this will not enter into the temporary variable. So it will be removed. So it will be removed and it goes for next iteration. So next iteration, the I value will be incremented. So I 3 not equals to 4. So 3 and I'm having L, and at fourth position I'm having O. Yes, the condition is true. So as the condition is true, so I'm going to place L value here. And next I'm having O. So which is a 4 not equals to none. It points to the null character. So null character means nothing but last we'll be having the empty character. So where we'll be getting the O. So now I got all the temporary variables by removing duplicates. So after getting that, I need to reverse. I will need to print the string in reverse order. So printing the reverse order means, so based on the count value, by decrementing the count, I will go on printing it. So if it is 0, 1, 2, 3, so if I say 3, so H will be printed. O will be printed first. So if I say 3, O will be printed first. Next, count minus 1. Count 3 minus 1, 2. So at second index I am having L. L will be printed. Next 2 is Z. 2 minus 1, 1. So at first index position I am having the character E. Next 1 minus 1, 0. So at 0th index position I am having the character H. So by removing duplicates and I am printing the reverse string here. So this is how the program works. Is the program clear? So is it completed, students?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. If you have any queries, you can ask me now.
Ma'am, how much time will I give for this coding, ma'am?
Actually, I'm not clear your voice gladly. Can you repeat it?
For coding question, how much time will I give for?
In TCS, you are asking in regard of TCS or practicing?
In TCS, ma'am.
So in TCS, we'll be having 1 hour. In 1 hour, you need to solve 2 questions.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay.
And ma'am, will they specify which language like C, C++, or Java, or we will be given options? You can choose any.
Yeah, they'll be giving options. You can choose any of your language. So the language in which you are efficient, in which you are portable to write the programs, you can select that particular option and you can start with that. Choice is left for you in selecting the options of language. So whether you can go for C, C++, Java, Python. So there will be options. You can go with that.
Okay, ma'am.
Guys, I have shared you the feedback link in chat box. So kindly fill the feedback link.
Oh, ma'am, for me, it's saying the feedback link is no longer accepting responses.
So Ma, I think you have used the previous link. So try
No,
to get the present link.
Okay, yes, ma'am, I got it. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am.
Ma'am, can you tell your name?
Pavani. Pavani. I've shared the same in the chat box too.
Done, ma'am.
Yeah, done. If it is done, okay, fine. So thank you everyone for having your patience sitting all the time in the training session and listening the part.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank you, ma'am.
welcome. You are the most welcome, my dear students.
Ma'am, can we leave?
Yeah, obviously.